Is it overrated? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Is It Overrated? And today we asked the question, is Mass Effect overrated? Now, with the upcoming release of Mass Effect 3, this is a very anticipated game. We asked the question, is the Mass Effect trilogy overrated? We're going to talk about all three games. We're going to talk about what makes this game, if it is an overrated, I guess you could call it a franchise. I mean, it's more of a trilogy series type of thing. Alright, I mean, yeah, the Mass Effect franchise itself is, you know, there's a lot of different things. They have like books and novels and stuff like that, but we'll focus mostly on the game. So, is Mass Effect overrated? Well, let's talk about the first game. First up, Mass Effect, the original one, came out in 2007. Wow. It's basically about half a decade ago. And it was originally created as an exclusive for the Xbox 360. But then it was eventually ported to the Microsoft PC. But, I mean, honestly, it's... How many real exclusives does the 360 have that the PC doesn't get already? I mean, can you honestly call many exclusives serious, you know, exclusive games when they come out for the PC? It's pretty much all under Microsoft anyway, so... I mean, it's pretty much the same company. It's like if Nintendo released a, let's say, you know, a computer. They have a computer company, and then they put out, you know, Mac type, PC type of computers, and then they release Nintendo games on it as well. So instead of, you know, Mario Galaxy 2 coming out for just the Wii, it also comes out for this Nintendo PC. You know, so it's kind of the same company. I guess, you know, I can probably talk about this in a later video, but anyway, Mass Effect 1 focused on the protagonist, Commander Shepard, and basically this person has his quest was to stop the rogue Spectre, Saren Arterius, from leading an army of Geth to conquer the galaxy. And Shepard, when he's, you know, during this, you know, adventure that he has, he learns of a far greater threat called the Reapers. The Reapers are this big villain, bad guy, you know what I'm saying? Saren, he's been basically mentally captured by the Reaper. And Sovereign, this sort of vanguard guy, he was sent into a citadel space to kind of purge all of the advanced sentient life in the galaxy. And a cycle that's been repeated by the Reapers every 50,000 years. That's a crazy thing. Every 50,000 years, the Reapers essentially destroy, or you know, they completely just demolish any kind of smart intellectual life. A consciousness is destroyed. The game itself, you know, relatively well received. I mean, overall, it's probably one of the higher rated games for the Xbox 360. I mean, if you take a look at the ratings, Game Informer gave it a 9.75. You look at the game rankings, it's got a 91%, you know, score. You look at Metacritic, it's got a 91 out of 100. PC version, not as high, surprisingly, only getting an 89.43%, 89 out of 100. Other review scores, OneUp.com gave it an A. Computer and Video Games, 9 out of 10. Edge Magazine gave it a 7. So Edge Magazine not as impressed. EGM gave it a 9.17 out of 10. Eurogamer gave it an 8. Game Informer 9.75. GamePro 4.5 stars out of 5. GameSpot a 9 out of 10. The Xbox 360 version got an 8.5. So the PC version actually got a better score. And XPlay, IGN, Game Trailers, Games Radar all giving this game really high scores over 9. So very well received. The first Mass Effect. Alright, so let's talk about Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 coming out in 2010. Basically, it was released in North America January 29, in Europe, and it was basically, this game took 2 years after Mass Effect 1. The human colonies are being attacked. The colonists started disappearing without a trace. The game's protagonist, Commander Shepard, he was basically forced into this alliance with the kind of a pro-human paramilitary organization, Cerberus, in an effort to discover the cause. And there's this collectors, kind of race of insect-like humanoids, and that's sort of the direction. It's like it's probably them, the collectors. There's a bunch of soldiers, assassins, mercenaries, specialists. There's just a lot of different missions in this game that sort of adds to the depth of this particular action RPG. Mass Effect 2 received really good critical response. It really got high scores. The PS3 version actually came out in 2011. Very interesting. It's kind of unfortunate that the PS3 never got the first Mass Effect, because Microsoft had the publishing rights to the first one. So I don't think Microsoft is going to want to hand out some. They're not going to want Sony the ability to release Mass Effect on their system. So they're going to want to hog the glory to themselves. It's kind of bizarre how Microsoft deals with. It's not really a true exclusive, but it is kind of, what I mean? It's kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of strange how these games end up becoming pseudo-exclusives, but Mass Effect 2 was released to huge critical acclaim. You look at the aggregate scores, Game Rankings gave it a 95 out of 100, obviously 95%, PC 94%, PS3 93%. So, as you can imagine, the PS3 version not getting the highest, it's actually, the PS3 versions tend to get the lowest scores. Xbox 360 96 out of 100, PC 94, PS3 94, that's from Metacritic. All Game gave the Xbox 360 version a 4.5 stars, Eurogamer a 10 out of 10, Famitsu Magazine a 35 out of 40. 35 out of 40, that's pretty low considering it's Famitsu. Famitsu tends to rate it a lot higher. So maybe, Famitsu, I've mentioned this before, they're a very corrupt magazine. They take payola. They get paid by video game companies, especially Japanese video game developers and companies. That's why when you read Famitsu, you'll see most of the, 99% of Japanese games get a lot higher scores, like 40s, 39s out of 40. Really high reviews and scores, as opposed to the American ones like Mass Effect and all these other franchises that get much lower. So, much lower scores. Game Informer, 9.75. Xbox 360 PC version. The PS3 version got 9.5. GameSpot, 9 out of 10. Game Trailers, 9.7 out of 10. IGN, 9.6, 9.2, 9.3. All three different countries, US, UK, Australia. Official Xbox Magazine gave it a 9.5 and a 10 in the UK. Alright, so obviously Mass Effect 2, a very well received video game, and of course now we get to Mass Effect 3, 2012, a couple of years later after the second one came out. At the very least, you can respect Mass Effect's, they don't put out a game every single year, they don't have a yearly installment, unlike some of these other stupid, crappy, terrible franchises. COD. Oh, cough. So you can respect BioWare for that. BioWare is a really good developer in terms of at least, maintaining an integrity, with the franchise. Wait every couple of years, develop it, take time to make these games instead of just rushing it out every single year. This is the third and final installment in the trilogy. Obviously, it's a trilogy. It's scheduled to be released on March 6, 2012. Actually, this game is supposed to have the Reapers. They come back, and then they have to start the purging of the galaxy, this evil race, attacking the human homeworld of Earth. They're going to attack Earth. During this attack, Commander Shepard is on Earth and forced to flee. So, he's going to be leaving... after fleeing, Shepard, he must race against time to rally the advanced races of the galaxy to make one final stand. Not only to save Earth, but also to break a cycle that has continued for obviously millions of years. This is every 50,000 years. That's obviously the Reapers are like an ancient race. And this person, Casey Hudson, who commented that, she said in an interview Consumer Electronics show that Mass Effect 3 will complete the story arc of Commander Shepard and will put in over 1,000 variables for Mass Effect. If I said she or he, I don't know if this person is a male or female. I'm sorry about that. I'm not familiar with Casey Hudson. Mass Effect 2 will pull in over 1,000 variables for Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2 to shape how players experience the final chapter. Yes, there you go. The first official trailer was unveiled on December 11th. Alright. And they actually had like various spin-offs of the franchise as well. They had Mass Effect Galaxy from 2009, available exclusively on the iOS platform. Mass Effect Infiltrator 2012, an upcoming third-person shooter that will be released on the iOS platform. And then a Mass Effect Datapad, an upcoming free app for iOS devices. Had a bunch of novels, some comics, and a film. Wow! On May 24th, 2010, EA announced that Legendary Pictures Warner Brothers acquired the rights to a Mass Effect film, with the game's executive producer Casey Hudson, as well as Ray Muzica and Greg Zeshuk from BioWare, serving as executive producers. Legendary plans to produce the film with Thomas Tull, John Jashney, and Avi Arad, with a screenplay by Mark Protosevich. Despite information posted on the Legendary Pictures website indicating that the film would feature a completely new story, I don't know if that's a good thing. Protosevich and the producers have stated that the film will follow the plot of the original game. There's even an anime. Distributor Funimation Entertainment and Japanese studio TO Entertainment will produce an anime film adaptation based on the series, and it will be released in the summer of 2012. How interesting. Okay, so that's pretty much it that I can cover from Mass Effect. And Mass Effect 3 is obviously going to be this upcoming game. It's a highly anticipated game. Unfortunately, there's already kind of talks of DLC. Like on day one, there's going to be a DLC involving an important character in the storyline. So not a lot of fans are actually happy with this, because they think that this is basically a dick move by BioWare to cash in on this whole DLC bullcrap that a lot of developers have kind of been guilty of. You know, everybody's sort of doing DLC now. Unfortunately, this looks like the case, but it is EA. I mean, let's not forget, it's all under EA, Electronic Arts. I wouldn't be surprised if it was EA behind this whole thing all along. Like, they're the ones who planned this shit out. They're the ones who are ultimately pulled the not pull the plug. They're the ones who are pulling the strings. They're the ones who are like, okay, BioWare, you gotta do this. You gotta have DLC. You gotta, nickel and dime the players and the fans. Anyway, Mass Effect 3 is about to come out, so let me know if you guys think that Mass Effect is an overrated video game trilogy franchise. Let me know what you think. Is it overrated? Is it overhyped? Do people overrate these games too much? Personally, what are your personal thoughts on each game? Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. Do you think that these games deserve anywhere above a 9? Perfect 10s even? Do you think that they deserve that high of a praise? Or is it worth the hype? Is it not overrated? Is it actually worth all the hype? The money? Full price, $60, right when it comes out. Is it worth it? Alright, so that's it for this episode of Is It Overrated? So until next time, do not overrate. Peace.